Well, I'm here because, well, I guess a few things. Well, first, I'm a public librarian. I work in Brooklyn for the public library. Over the past few years, since the crisis hit, back in 2008, 2009, every year we've been confronted with huge budget cuts that have threatened, massive cuts to the services that we provide to hundreds of thousands of people in the borough that need it. And there have also been threats to our jobs and our livelihoods. So in the past few years, I've been, helping to organize coworkers and the communities to fight against those cuts. And I think it's really unfair that services like public libraries, that normal people that had no role whatsoever in creating this crisis, I think it's unfair that we're being made to pay for it. While the people that work on Wall Street and then down here in the financial district have gotten away with barely a slap on the wrist. So that's why I'm here. And for me, I mean, as somebody who considers himself to be a radical, I mean, it's a question of ultimately a power, and it's not just about Wall Street, and it's not just about the financial system, and it's not just about the banks. I mean, this is like to me, this is about a deeper system of power and a political economy that needs to be completely transformed. Especially since the past 30+ years, we've seen a massive expansion of the power of capital, of banks, bosses, managers, in relation to workers, to working people in the poor. We've been getting our asses kicked for the last 30 years, and I just want to be here to help start, helping people fight back. So that's why I'm here.
Great. And just one more thing about, what you would say to like cynics and critics and the fact that, this doesn't have a focus, or what would you say to people like that?
Well, to a certain extent, I think they're right. There is no focus to a significant extent. It's kind of very nebulous and fuzzy. It's kind of hard to figure out what's going on at times, or what the demands are, if there are any demands, or some people I think don't even think that we should have any. I don't agree with that. I think we need to be a little bit more organized and actually make a set of demands that we can organize people around and fight on. But I do think that the impulse to kind of resist top-down hierarchical control, I think, is a healthy one. The 20th century left didn't necessarily have a very good history of encouraging, democratic participation, and both within, I guess, certain movements and parties, in our country and in other countries of the West, and not to mention, say, the Soviet Union and elsewhere. So I do think that impulse to resist, formal organization and top-down hierarchies is healthy. But I think if this is going to go somewhere, it needs to be balanced and supplemented by, greater organization, the formulation of demands, and a greater participation by bigger numbers of people that can't necessarily hang out in a park all the time, that have to work, have families, have responsibilities, and kind of arrive at maybe a creative, combination of the two. Kind of have the best of what is happening here, but at the same time supplementing it with a more formal, permanent, and political organization. Because I think, right now people are still in the therapeutic stage. It's like I was telling someone before, I think so many people feel like they have no control over their lives, whether or not it's at work or at home, in their schools, in their communities, that I think a big function that something like this does is make people feel like they have some sort of control. So I think it's good that, say, something like this is happening right now, like people getting together and figuring out what they're going to do, but I just hope it doesn't peter out. I hope it's not just kind of one big therapy session for people, which I think to a significant extent it is right now, which I'm not judging, but can be frustrating at times. But yeah.
Great, thank you.
That my teacher, I'm from BBC Professional Business College, and my professor brought us down here to open us up to what's going on in the world around us. And my biggest concern that I would like to talk about is my healthcare insurance. They're cutting healthcare insurance where that it's not covering my medication anymore, because I'm a person that I'm a diabetic. And now they're telling me that they're not paying for my diabetic medication anymore, and that I have to go to a different pharmacy and they will give me a different medication. And I feel that the rich is living on the poor back, and they just robbing us for everything that we have. I mean, even down to our medication, even down to our housing. You know, it's just too much that we can't. It's so much that we cannot bear it all. You know, it's weakening us. And now that I'm really feeling it in my heart, that my heart goes out for the people that's down here.
I'm here today because I know in my heart that there's an awakening going on this planet right now, and I want to support my brothers and sisters and try to wake up as many people to the truth as possible, that this is our Mother Earth and corporate greed is raping and pillaging her, and it's time we put an end to that.
What do you say to like the cynics and people who tell you that you probably shouldn't be here doing this?
I say to the cynics that there's actually a perfect quote, and I can't think of who said it, but they said, those who say it cannot be done should get out of the way for those who are doing it.